Good evening, cowboys and cowgirls. It's time for your weekly X-rated dose of MRC. That's right, it's Friday, it's MRC-X night, and tonight it's the F2 cars for the evening. So tonight you have me, Simba, bringing you all the action. Sorry it's not the voice of MRC, but don't worry, Connor will be back with you soon. He's just recovering from an op. Hopefully he's watching tonight, and all of us at MRC wish him a speedy recovery. So we are here at the Circuit of the Americas, this 3.426 mile 20 corner circuit, first opened in 2012. Provides some interesting challenges throughout the lap. There's elevation changes, long sweeping corners, and every driver's favourite, a first sector made up of the S's. Some may say a few too many corners, especially in that S's section. The lap record is held by Charles Leclerc from 2019. Lewis Hamilton holds the win record with 5. Unlike the Formula 1, the Formula 2 cars all use the same 3.4 litre single turbocharged V6 Mechachrome engine. With these cars it's more about driver skill than what engine you've got. So joining me in the comms box tonight is a man who likes a tipple. Bacardi, Captain Morgan's and Cut to the Spice may grace his collection. No small measures either. Fresh from his voyages and treasure hunts, it's the captain himself. Oh, sorry, it's not Jack Sparrow. He was supposed to, but I've just had word he's currently crying about all the rum being gone. So joining me is another man who likes rum. Some say he may be the reason that Jack is currently crying. It's my fellow Tier 2 driver, the man of the papaya brand. It's my partner in crime, the other half of the M&Ms. It's with great pleasure I introduce to you the longest serving commentator in MRC. It's Hodgie time! Good evening, how are you?
That's the best intro I've ever had, ever. That's awesome. And it's also quite true.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
That's why I went for it.
Yeah, oh, definitely, yeah. Although, no, I haven't got one tonight, must admit. I'm going on the teetotal night tonight.
What?
I can't be feeling. I told you I wasn't feeling well. So.
Who are you? What have you done with Hodgie?
Exactly that. But I'd also first of all like to say, well, yes, thanks as well for having me. This is going to be different. Yeah, very different having the F2 cars. We've done it before, of course, in Zandvoort, and it was, I thought, quite a bit of good fun. And yeah, now we've got it now around COTA. And then, so also just want a second, of course, yeah, exactly, reflect your sentiments to Connor, and hopefully be back with us very, very soon. Hopefully he's doing well.
I'm sure he's probably watching, making sure we do him proud.
Yeah, exactly. We won't destroy your baby.
He is the voice of MRC and is now running it as well.
He is, yeah.
So all this changing formats is his brainchild.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Scott sampled the F2 last season, but Connor's got the mix of normal Formula 2, 100% races, sprint races, even reverse championship races.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. I'm gonna quite look forward to it, to be honest, because it's gonna be something that's totally different, and I think I quite like some of what he's doing, because it's. I think, you know, if you race on a Monday, then reserve on a Wednesday and do MRC-X, you're doing the same race 3 times. Yes, could be potentially different weather conditions, for example, and a different set of drivers, but it's the same thing. So to spice it up a bit, it is something different. It's a new challenge to the drivers, and you know, we know who the quick guys are. You know, we've seen earlier this week some epic races, and this is now just throwing another just throwing the cat amongst the pigeons now, and you could see, you know, there is potential in these cars, you know, someone who you wouldn't necessarily expect, and this is nothing against any of these guys, but a Tier 3, Tier 4 driver really mixing it up with the Tier 1s.
Oh, you can. It's really every man for himself in these cars, and because they're so different, the skill level is different for them. Exactly,
yeah. They tend to be a bit more understeery, aren't they, as well? And
they really are. These cars do not want to turn a corner.
No, they don't. It's definitely, whatever you do, it's another gear down, and there's no... Is it DRS? Well, they don't have any ERS, and I don't think they've got DRS. I could be wrong.
I think they have DRS, but like you say, there's no ERS because there's no electrical system.
Yeah, exactly.
I should find out very... Oh, and it's just invalidated. We had Kenichi around for out first, but he's invalidated it. I think Lope is the next one on track. No, he's not. He's invalidated anyway.
Calvin's coming through the second to last corner. And then into turn 20, I did have everything written down in terms of who the teams are, and I don't. I don't have it with me, so...
There we go. First time on the board is Calvin in the ART, I believe.
Yeah, I had the stream up, so I'm going to have to cut the stream and then look at who we've got and where. And
we're supposed to sound professional here, but neither of us have got a clue what is going on with these F2 cars.
Nah, not a chance. Not a chance.
It's just a car. We know the driver. We'll just do the best we can.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. So who's on a lap? So
I'm watching Bandstop, who's just flagged up as purple first sector.
Ooh.
He's coming into the hairpin now.
And he is in a Charus. Charus? Let's call it.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Gibbon.
We'll go with that.
Provisional pole, 146.9. That's Calvin's teammate for the night.
It is, yeah. Some of them are quite handy. I've just noticed I went on board with Carl, and he on the Halo, it says what car he's in, and so he's in the Trident. He is the Poseidon of the... Well, yeah.
Yeah, we sound really professional.
Sorry, I got distracted. I had a management message then, sorry.
Bandstop's invalidated, so I've just jumped on board with Back Meso, who's going through, I believe it's Gav's favourite sector.
Oh, the last one. Which one? Hang on. That doesn't narrow it down.
The one where he kept spinning a lot the other day.
Well, that could be first or last.
Last, but is invalidated anyway. Kenichiwa Beach has now gone provisional P1.
This is a strange thing, because I don't know if they get any more tyres other than the one set for qualifying. And they only get automatically fueled for one run, usually.
I believe you can squeeze 2 laps in, but you do run out of fuel on your in-lap.
Ah.
So if someone's evil, like Scott used to be, and puts it on hard, low fuel mode, it's a nightmare. Because he used to do that all the time. It was hard mode for low fuel, so you could barely get to 100 mile an hour in these things.
Yeah, they are a lot slower, is the best term for them, than...
right, yeah, they're missing about 400-500 horsepower.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? I mean, I mean, it's one of those that the drivers, you know, they're going to be used to coming up to a corner at 120, 130 and going around, like, let's say, the S's at higher speed, and they're just not going to be able to carry that speed in these cars.
Let's watch Erapel in the Carling. I hope he's not been drinking. Last season's elite champion as well, I believe. If memory serves correct. You're a former elite champion yourself.
Yeah, and then I think I had a couple of races, and then it went, and then I ended up doing a streak of finishing in 4th behind Rappel, Saviour, and G-Star. So I just thought, well, no matter what I did, I was always 4th. And then I just kind of was hit and miss in and out. Good luck from Barnstop. But yeah, I was in and out that season, and then kind of it was a secondary for me.
It was a bit mental that you didn't race a couple of races, came in, won 2 or 3 races on the bounce, and you were right back in contention.
Yeah, I missed. I think I missed the first one. I can't remember where that was. Then I did Hungary, and I can't remember the one after that. Might have been Abu Dhabi. Yeah, won both back to back, which I've never done back to back before. And then I then went on that streak of... I was leading the championship. I missed 1 or 2 races, and I was still leading the championship at that point. And then, yeah, I just had a string of 4th place, 4th place, 4th place, and so on.
Yeah, it was a bit mental how that played out. But like you say, it's a bit of a secondary, and I'm not doing a lot with it this season myself. I mean, I haven't even graced the racetrack yet. There's Erapel with a 146.1, so that's now the provisional pole. See what else we've got. Lopi
It's
looks
a
to be on
strange
a
one. The
lap.
cars are so much quieter than what we used to.
They really are.
It's almost like there's just something happening in the background and we're just having this leisurely little chat. It's a strange one.
It really seems like it.
Yeah, it's a real strange one. I mean, I'm sure that we've seen in Zandvoort as well. I think we were taking part in that one actually when we did the F2 last time, and it was such a good race and really good fun. So I know there'll be a lot of action throughout, and it is only a lot shorter. It's only the 16 laps that we have, because even though that is set to the right length, it's 50% of the full length, but they do run, as you mentioned earlier off stream, that they are a lot shorter anyway. Lopi's got wing damage on his car. I think he got the car that must have had an incident with Barnstop somewhere, and it's got the 5-place penalty.
That's going to hamper him a little bit, but we'll wait and see. Because
yeah, especially
it's
especially
MRC,
his first run.
Anything can happen. The problem is with this, obviously, you only get one set of tyres.
Yeah.
So if you mess it up on your first run, you generally are going to struggle to improve.
Yeah, because it puts the fuel back in, and then yeah, you're gonna, like you say, really struggle. And if you invalidate your lap, you've taken that bit of life out of those tyres again that just isn't ideal in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Let's jump over to YouTube and see who's watching us tonight then.
Giban is with us, and so is the Gecko himself.
Ah, the Gecko. And Gibbon's actually provisional P4.
Yes.
So that's quite a strong lap from himself. Good evening, Mr. Hills. He's made
I think I may upset Mr. Hills this evening.
What
I
did
didn't
you do?
realise what we know who he supports and who he isn't the biggest fan of, and he's in the Dams racing car tonight. Now his teammate is out on track. What car does it look like?
Who's his teammate?
Mr. Womax.
Oh dear.
I don't think he's going to be amused.
It's the car he won in Tier 3, so...
Well, yeah, true. Seems to get on well with it.
See, I wouldn't have been complaining if I was in that.
I've never actually used them, to be honest. I don't know what they're like. I don't know what they you know. Everyone, a lot of the time you go off the engine note and the engine noise. Obviously, it doesn't matter so much now we're in F2 because it's a totally different engine and different sound. But you get used to certain things, and I've never used any of the Honda engines. I know you have, and you quite like them, don't you?
Yeah, I really do like the Honda engine. I mean, last time we did the F2, Scott actually gave me a car that represented the Red Bull branding, because it wasn't the Dams team. He kept that one out, so we didn't have 3 Red Bull cars on track.
Ah.
But one of the second drivers was a Red Bull, so he gave me that car. Because obviously I was Red Bull for 2 seasons anyway.
Yes, yeah, you were. And of course, then moved to the AlphaTauri team last season.
Yeah, I still say it was under duress. Maybe that was me getting my own back on Wednesday.
Yeah, could be.
With
Apparently I've got a surprise coming.
With the Rangers inspired. I still can't get over that. I say about him being in a barber shop and then he pops up on stream and I'm like, oh, that looks like a Rangers inspired helmet, and he spins.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't think there has been yet a better commentator's curse at that point than we managed in qualifying last week. Sorry, on Wednesday.
That is literally one of the best I've ever seen,
Yeah.
and you couldn't have scripted that.
No.
It was literally just an offhand comment because his helmet was blue.
Yeah.
I mean, he used to get the Rangers-inspired thing all the time when he was in Alpine in Tier 4, and he never spun off it.
No, he didn't. No,
So I don't get why he spun because I commentated on his helmet.
we just do spread the curse. I'll tell you what I quite like, and I'm going to find out what car he's in. And it is... Where's it gone? The Campos Racing for Sergeant Uncle Sam. It's like the Alpine Academy. I quite like that. The white and the blue.
Yeah, I do quite like the Alpine sponsored cars in the F2. I mean, I have watched F2 myself, but I don't make a point of I have to watch it.
No, I'll watch it if it's on. Or if I'm not doing anything, I will watch it, and I'll try to a little bit, just to have a bit of interest, because obviously they're the F1 drivers, hopefully, of tomorrow and coming through, so you kind of like to know who's doing what, I think. And, you know, I know we've got next season a couple of the F2 drivers coming up to F1, so it's going to be, I think, one of the... I mean, it's a bit late now to follow the season, but to have a look and see who's coming through, and to see even next year who steps up from, whether it's Formula 3, Formula Renault, Formula 4, or the other ones, and pop up into F2 and see how well they do.
Yeah, but I've watched F2, I've watched F3. I think I've even watched W Series at some point.
Yeah, they were quite good, the W
But
Series.
it's more, if it's on, I'll watch it, whereas F1, I make a point of watching it. I even get up at 6 o'clock in the morning for a race to get red flagged 5 minutes in.
Yeah, that was a fun morning, that for Japan, wasn't it?
That was painful.
Was.
It's hard enough getting up at 6 o'clock when you're up early every day for work anyway. It's your only day off that weekend. And then the race gets red flagged for 2 hours.
Yeah, I agree. I felt exactly the same way, and I'm sure many people thought exactly the same. I think.
And then the race directors can't decide on what rules they're using.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, people. Get your act together and actually work out what you're doing.
I know. And people in MRC decide and think they have the right to have a go at our stewarding. I mean, they know nothing. At least we're consistent.
Yeah.
And we know the rule book.
I mean, stewarding is hard work. Nobody's going to be able to say different. Because anybody that's joined us has realised just how hard it actually is.
Yeah, and it's... You know, it's easy to say, well, in this instance, why did you not give a 10-second penalty to that guy? Well, everything is different. Everything is relative in a certain situation, but we still try and apply the majority of the rules to each decision. And we, you know, not going to pretend that we know the rule book off by heart and inside out, because it's kind of impossible to, but we do a good job of it, I like to think, and it shows when people are wanting to join the stewards, people are wanting to be involved, and then also that we don't get a huge amount of people appealing because they accept this is okay, I see how you've come to that penalty, I understand how you've come to that decision, and that's what it should be. And that's why I think we made that public, like there's the outcomes public, which is what MRC wanted. And Scottish Ninja's gone from the session somewhere. I think that's outside the last corner.
It looks like it. Got a bit wide on the curb. It looks like. But I was following on with back Mesa. Oh, yeah, he's on the outside there.
Yeah. Very strange place to go.
Well, come on then, Martin. Get your car out on track. I know you're not going to appreciate the Red Bull branding, which Kid Dynamite's also got.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Red Bull branded cars.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at that now. When I picked the teams this morning, well, I sort of half drew the teams out this morning, but chose which teams we would use, and I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't really look. I was in a bit of a...
He's in Auger's car, which I believe is the car I was in.
I'm not sure what I was in, I actually can't remember. I think it was blue, though.
Yeah, I think yours was one of the maybe Alpine Academies.
Yeah, I think it might have been, actually.
I think you
You're
were
right.
in the one that Bat Mezo's in.
Virtuosi,
If I remember.
I think I may have been. I've only got interior cam at the moment. Possibly, yeah. I think you're right. I was.
Yeah, because I seem to remember you shooting past me at one point.
And then I was probably shooting backwards at another point.
And now you just spend a lot of time looking at my rear wing.
Yes.
Still waiting for that drawing, you know. It'll all come back on itself. I mean, we're at Brazil this week. Forget a safety car, that's it. You're going to be gone.
Well, hopefully.
Because I know what your
To be fair, though,
restarts are like.
yeah, that was probably the record restart. I would have to say.
What,
think,
4 you got past on that one?
Yeah, four people on a safety car restart. I got past, yes, and then I think one outside of turn 3 as well. Because by then I'd gone that early. My tyres were a lot warmer than everybody else's.
Let's see what Mr. Dynamite can do. He's just coming into the triple right-hander.
Well, Neil put a good lap in. He's on a 46.2 right behind Lee Rappel. That's a really good lap from him. He'll be happy with that.
Let's see if Mr. Dynamite's got an answer, because he really did take to the F2 cars last time. I mean, before one of the safety cars, he were 15 seconds up the road. And there we go, 45.4.
Wow.
In his Prema.
Wow. That's incredible. What a lap. And this is now getting to the business end, because a lot of people have waited. It's kind of been a slow burn of this qualifying, because like we mentioned, you get a half an hour session with one set of tyres, and you don't want to use it too soon. And people are waiting long and a long way through. It's actually Martin's on track, and it's not. He's in Roy Nassani's car. And I'm sure he's using my helmet design. Slightly different colour. No, it's not Red Bull inspired, so he's okay. We're okay.
Yeah, I think he's got a bit lucky there.
Yeah, he has a bit. And I think that's something I miss when it was the. I think because it's very sponsorship based. They aren't always the same car in the same team. There are differences.
Yeah, it could have been the car Womax is in that I was in. I can't remember.
Or Dynamite. Could have been in the Prema.
No, it wasn't a Prema, I don't think. I know it was a team where one was normal and one was Red Bull.
Could be it then. Because I think Neil is his teammate on an out lap, and he is both Red Bull, yeah, so they're definitely the Prema, definitely both Red Bulls.
I believe it was the Premas we didn't use then. So it might have been the Dams I was in, and I was in the car Womax has got. Let's see what Saviour's doing. He's just coming up to the end of the long straight. So we should get a sector time for him in his second, which is going to be a 1:09.9. No clue what that equates to, but I'll hope it's good.
I've not looked throughout this session, but like I said, this is going to be the ones who have stayed in the pits and are coming out now to do their run or runs. Then they're potentially going to be in the best spot, because that track would have rubbered in just enough for them to hopefully get that run and get a bit more traction, as Dynamite's shown. And what can Brave do? Wow, Brave's in the 145s now.
And Saviour 1:44.4.
Wow.
We'll jump to Mr. Single Track himself, who's flagging up as purple in the first sector. I was giving him a few tips earlier, like we were saying about bit extra front wing, bit lower on the gears, and obviously personal recommendation was to wait till later, go out, let the track rubber in first, because you only get that one set of tyres, which I didn't realise, and made the mistake of going straight out and stuffed myself basically.
I think I did the same, to be honest. I honestly think I did the same thing.
I don't think you started much in front of me, if I recall. I think I remember seeing you. Martin's just flagged up purple sector 2 as well.
This could be a really good one.
Let's see what you can do in the final few corners. He's just coming up to the 16, 17, 18 triple right-hander. He looks pretty planted as well.
Yeah, a little bit of easing off the throttle to keep it from running too far wide. Missed the apex 219 though. Using all bit of track there. If he doesn't invalidate though, he can potentially invalidate you on there.
Around the final corner, and he posts a 147.4. Puts him P13. I wonder if he did lose a bit in that final sector then.
Potentially, yeah.
Either that or the track map was lying that he was actually flagging purple.
It's one that you it's difficult to put one. I think it goes purple for when you look at your deltas and the people on your timing screens, the 5 people that are in there with you. I think it's purple compared to them rather than full purple for the session. Is what I think it does, because we've seen it before where he's gone, well, hang on, I've just, you could be currently in 14th, and hang on, I've just done a purple sector, and then you finish your lap with another green sector, let's say, and you've promoted yourself to 7th, and you come back in the pits and the purple sector's absolutely nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. You find out that who has got the purple sector was 3 seconds quicker than you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
See what Lorp is going to do. 148.9. He seems to be struggling with these F2 cars.
I think we're going to see a few people do that. Now, Sergeant Uncle Sam, he's been out a couple of times. I've seen him on a few laps and had a few issues, few minor excursions. Oh, he's done again, this is now starting another fast lap.
We have a blowhole in the chat.
Ah, he is here.
Good evening, Mr. Chris.
Thank you for joining us. Oh, that's going to put him off. I don't know who that was rejoining in Sector 1. There was a spinning car that tried to rejoin, and I don't know how much it looked off Sam with that one.
Let's see, who was that? Gibbons on a lap. There's quite a few on a lap at the moment. B17.
Yeah, I'm just following
spin.
our Stars and Stripes friend and just seeing if he can hopefully get a lap time on the board. A little bit under pressure. He's had a few runs. Tyre's not going to be at the best, so hopefully he can get himself up on the board.
Yeah, I think we'll follow him. He's on the long straight at the moment. DRS flat wide open.
I'd like to know why Mr. Bailey isn't racing this evening. Why is he not partaking in this event?
Blowhole matters, I guess.
Yes. Is it like Blowhole Lives Matter?
I think it could be. Maybe it could pop up in YouTube and let us know.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering why we're a bit different, it's MRC-X. The script is out of the window.
Yeah, there is absolutely none of that.
This is your X-rated fun for the week. PG version, because we're going to be YouTube friendly.
I was going to say, that's why Bailey's joined.
Well, everybody needs a blowhole.
Yes, certainly do.
And Sam goes P6. 146.3. To say how many laps he's done on them tyres, that's a cracking lap.
Can I find out? Yeah, he's done... It says 2 on my... on the screen here, but I think it's been a bit more. Liverpool's retired from the session. Has he had a moment somewhere? Might be in the pits, that one.
Just watching the Geckmeister himself, because he's the only one still to post a time that can. So obviously Scottish Ninja had a bit of a moment and has retired.
Now that's a colourful car.
That really is a colourful car. What is that?
Oh,
it's
the colours of green and whatnot. So it's Simpson.
The Campos Racing of Ralph Boschung.
Bless you. Campos I got. I don't know. I didn't get the last bit.
Ralph Boschung.
That's
the driver.
That explains it. See, the Tony were winging it with too.
Yeah, we really are winging it at the moment.
Yeah, a little bit.
Who's the furthest round a lap at the moment?
So interestingly, our top 3 are back out.
Brave's
was
on
a 10th down in the first sector. Dynamite's 4/10 down on his current lap.
Yeah, I think he's building for another go.
It could be.
Yeah, he was definitely backed off. He was 5.5 seconds down at the end of the lap.
Yeah, Xavier's also invalidated his current lap time.
Let's see what else we've got. Oh, the flags are waving. Uncle Sam's just gone P3.
Wow.
He had another run. That's a good time.
That is brilliant. And
Call
to be
me the
fair, for him
brave.
to be under pressure that he was with the laps that he had early on the board, and I don't know if he just came out and in again or how he worked his laps, but that's a pretty good recovery from him.
Call me the Brave's car kind of resembles yours. It's bright orange.
It is a little bit. It is. Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. I thought that.
He's in the Felipe Drugovich car. Now there's a name I recognise.
Yeah, at least we know what we're doing all right there.
I recognise a couple of the names. I haven't been catching up with it much this season though.
No, there's a couple I'm not sure of. Oh, Barnstop spun on the start, finish straight.
Brave's only a 10th down, so if he can have a good last sector, he might improve here.
Yeah,
See what he can do. Just coming through 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, is he going to pit Stars and Stripes?
Oh, he's taking every inch of track there. Oh, he's way off. It's not invalidated him though.
I think it still will have cost him time, but might as well finish his lap. Oh, he actually improved.
That is a minor improvement. I reckon he'd have done a lot better if he hadn't run wide there.
Yeah, and if he'd gained another point, well, 4,000ths of a second, he would have been equal to Sergeant Uncle Sam as well.
So he only needed 5,000ths of a second, and he'd have taken P3.
Unbelievable.
There we go. That's the first half an hour over.
Yep, that's quali.
Yeah, F2 quali is not my favourite, I must admit. 30 minutes.
They had more tyres.
Yeah, 30 minutes, one set of tyres. No, about 30 minutes, 4 sets of tyres.
Yeah.
Just a fun idea for you there, FIA. MRC got this covered. Just wait for Gibbon to be pulled into his pit box and we should end this session. What a lap from Saviour there. I thought Kid Dynamites were good, and then Saviour smashes it out of the park by a second.
Yeah, exactly that.
Oh, you get points in qualifying, do you?
Ah, so you do.
So, Saviour on pole with Kid Dynamite P2, Uncle Sam P3, Call Me the Brave P4, Erapel P5, Neil P6, Bandstop P7, G-Star P8, Konnichiwa P9, Gibbon P10. Moving on to the bottom half, we have Calvin in 11th, Wilmax 12th, Carl 13th, Single Track 14th, Rotterdam 15th, East 17th, 16th, Lorpy 17th, but has a 5-place grid penalty, so it'll be P20. The Gecko in 18th, Batmezo in 19th, and Scottish Ninja in 20th with no time. So it's definitely a mixed up grid, is that? I mean, we've got some big names right down the bottom end.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. And I'm looking at some of the gaps, and yes, while the Saviour and Dynamite, that is a huge gap. There's a couple in there that are, you know, within a tenth, within 2/10, you know, less than that of each other. So that is also really, really close in some of those qualifying times, even like down to like 11th and 12th, for example. I didn't see them exactly, but are really, really close times. So I think it shows like the drivers are competitive with each other, and then Saviour and Dynamite and Sargent have just absolutely smashed it out the park with their laps.
Yeah, and obviously Call Me the Brave as well. He's, as to quote Connor, since he's not here, he would be right up the chuff of Sergeant Uncle Sam if they were on track at the same time.
Exactly that, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how, because they are quite heavy, these cars. We mentioned the understeer. It's going to be, hopefully, you know, they're going to take a bit of care with the racing wheel to wheel, because that's going to be quite difficult, I think, just as people still now with race fuel on are getting used to how the cars handle.
Yeah, I mean, I found it was like steering a boat round a corner.
Yeah, it can be quite difficult.
Everyone's starting on the super softs, the purple tyres that we don't see in F1 anymore.
That was the days of like the ultra soft as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, we used to have so many different compounds, and now we're stuck with just 3.
Which I like. It's
and
easier.
Pirelli pick 'em every week.
Yeah, but I quite like that way of it doing it. It is so much easier. I think the teams find it simpler, and it's easier for us to work out what on earth is on the, pardon me, on the cars as well.
Yeah, I do sometimes wish they'd bring. Now we don't have to use the same compound that you did quali on into the race. I do sometimes wish they'd bring back the super softs for qualifying.
Yeah, they could actually bring back a qualifying tyre.
Yeah, have a specific tyre for qualifying, and then the normal tyres for the race and practice.
Yeah, that would be quite something. That would be quite good fun.
See,
Give me 2 or 3
MRC
sets of
has
that or something.
got this covered.
Exactly.
We do a better job than you do. Hire us.
Exactly. MRC is taking over.
Oh, Erapel and Neil must have had a moment. They're both now sat on the grid, which ain't going to be great. Nice cold tyres for them.
Yeah, maybe by that point they won't be far off getting warm.
Hopefully, anyway, because
Yeah.
the cars are very understeery. Going on cold tyres just makes that even worse. Especially with that really tight turn 1 as well. You need that turning.
Yeah, you're going to, and it's to be fair, it's going to be trying to keep the speed up through that first sector of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's going to be really difficult for them, I think. Well,
really
actually, all
is
the drivers, even if they are
relentless.
warm.
It's a relentless sector, is that?
It is. If you get a nice line to the first part, it can be. I nearly use the term nice, and nice is definitely not the word I want to use.
No, it's definitely not nice.
No, it can be bearable, and it can get a nice flow and a bit of rhythm to it. And then if you just get even like the second part offline, it makes it very, very difficult for yourself, and you know that's why the penalties come in, and and the time that you lose as well. But I think we're near enough.
It's only since I've had 1 disqualification as well, which is a bit of a miracle.
Yeah, everyone's taking it nice and steady.
There's a car, it must be Gibbon. He's really, really pointed. Have you seen his angle? There we go, the 5 lights are out, and we are away! Sammy gets a great start. Coleman, the Braves, like lightning start. Is it up into P2 already?
Yep, sorry, I know I shouldn't cut in you, but honestly, I just watched Gibbon start, and what a start he had as well. Carl as well has had a monster start further down.
Yeah, Gibbon was on a right angle. He was already lining up for doing that. He knew what he wanted to do and where he wanted his car. Comet the Brave got a great one as well. Let's have a quick look at position changes. And I believe we've actually got through the first sector at least with no problems. Yeah, Carl's up 6. East 17's up 6. Geke's up 7. Oh, Neil's had a moment. He's down 14.
That'll be very cold tyres, I think.
I think he's just had another spin as well. He's not.
A few people battling at the. I think there's that G-Star and Single Track and Rotterdam all together as well further back. That's a good little battle further down I'm looking at.
Cut to that. I'm not getting some great camera angles, and it's like a static camera with all the cars just stuck everywhere.
Yeah, it is a little bit.
Give me the nice F1 cameras that we keep getting. Yes, Single Track's got Rotterdam all over him at the moment. Oh, he's just making a move on to Lorpy, I think.
Carl's having a storm in first lap up to 6. Oh, he's now just got past Barnstop.
Let's jump on board with Carl. He must cope well with these understeery cars.
Yeah, I think he does actually practice the F2 cars as well. So it's something that he kind of may feel a bit more at home with than some others. I personally, and I'm sure there's a lot of people with me that don't touch them.
I kept saying I was going to do a season in the F2 cars just for the hell of it, and I've never got around to it.
I started to. the career mode, driver mode, something like that, and then I just didn't have the time, to be honest with you. I'd rather practice for, if I've got an hour, I'll rather do the race we've got coming up, do an extra couple of laps on that.
Yeah, that's what I ended up. I've not even played career mode properly. Most of my F1 time is dedicated to the league practice.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh,
who was that?
Uncle Sam's had a moment.
Sam? The top of the hill through 9/10.
It really can catch you out, can that corner?
Yeah, and he's got wing damage as well to go with.
You think you've got the traction, you can push it through the corner, and then all of a sudden it's like bye-bye.
Oh, who's that that's just had a moment there? That someone just had a moment further back. It was, yeah, Loppy, yeah.
Just seen his name tumbling down the times. We've got a right Delta glitch going on. Apparently, Call Me the Brave is 1 minute 50 behind Saviour.
Oh heck, you've got that. I don't have that, I'm not right. But
he's not. He's having a right ding-dong with Dynamite.
Oh, what a move that is.
Yeah, Dynamite really does seem to settle with these cars quite well. The guy's a machine, he can turn his hand to anything. You put him in a car and he just goes.
It's just, yeah. It's quite worrying if you're looking at the timer screen and on your Delta, you're having an alright race, and then you see him pop up and you just look at that gap get smaller and smaller and smaller.
Oh, there we go. It looks like it's fixed the Delta glitch. Band stops
round.
round.
Oh, band stop's gone round. And he's damaged his wing.
Oh, that's unfortunate. DRS has now been enabled. Gekke's got the first penalty of the race. Kid Dynamite is really reeling in Saviour at the moment. I think we'll stay on board with this and see what he can do in the DRS zone. I mean, he's got that gap down to 4/10. He's going to be in a good position for a shot down that back straight.
Yeah, he's got good patience as Kid, and I think that's what, thinking about looking at as on board, it's what he's got through that first sector is why he's close so much. It's just the patience to window by the throttle. Wow.
He's literally pushing him up the track. DRS flaps should be open any second. There we go. I think this could be textbook, this one. Pulls out from the slipstream. Is he ahead enough into the corner? No, it's going to be side by side. Who can get the better traction into the next corner? But Kid's going to have the inside line. Can Saviour hang on around the outside to give himself the inside? He can. Oh, what a battle this one's turning out to be. Saviour seems to have the better of it at the moment. Coming into 16, 17, 18. Kid's not giving up though, he's up the inside. Wow, what racing from these two.
Wow.
They're still going at it.
Still side by side.
Through 19. Ooh. Should give... Saviour's gone for the dive at turn 20. Who's going to get the DRS? It's Saviour. Wow, these boys are going to make us have a heart attack tonight. He's pulling out from the slipstream. He's going to go inside for turn 1. Not always the best line, but he'll try and make it work. I think Kid's had the better traction.
Absolutely no contact as well between these two. This is textbook and perfect wheel-to-wheel racing between those two. That's why they're champions.
If you can race like this, join our league, please.
Yeah.
We love watching racing like this. I think Kid's now finally breaking away.
Yeah, that was just from, what, turn 12 to turn 20, side by side.
That was just wow.
Incredible. There was a tiny little wheel tap of all the way through that one tiny wheel tap, and that was just like you said, textbook, absolute perfection in terms of wheel-to-wheel combat. That was how you drive and show respect and leave space to your opponent. That was absolutely perfect.
I think Gibbon's about to have DRS on the bit of a train in front of him. I wonder what you can do with it. Because we've got Erapel, Bit, Woomax, E17 and Gibbon all in a small space of track.
Yeah, there's a few gaps that have randomly formed. You've got Kenichiwa kind of on his own, and then Liverpool will be further back with this train behind him. Martin 4.7, 4.5 now back. Mizo has got a little few people with Rotterdam and Calvin behind him.
So it's a bit unfortunate. Rotterdam was putting a move on Calvin with DRS, but ran himself wide. surprised he didn't pick up a penalty for that.
Oh!
Braves past
Sorry.
Saviour.
Oh wow, I didn't see that. That wasn't what I was looking at. Sorry,
When
I
did
just
that
saw
happen?
Geke get it pretty wrong, but yeah, you're right.
Where did that come from? Fair play to him. But now he's going to have to go wheel to wheel with Saviour. I know them two are really good mates though. So they'll probably be on party chat winding each other up now. Going, well, no, I'm the faster one. I'm the faster one.
Yeah.
Saviour will be there going,
yeah, but
I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
Exactly.
At least
he's now up to 9th. Liverpool's 10-2, is that? That's gone backwards. It's Loppy again.
That's one thing I do like about being on a party though. If you have got the move there, you can kind of go, look, I'm going this way.
Oh, G-Star's gone through turn 3.
Scottish Ninja's picked up 3 seconds. There's penalties left, right and centre now.
Yeah, Neil's pitted. He's now gone on to the medium tyres. So they should hopefully take him to the end.
That should do quite easily. We've got...
Oh, G-Star's cooked his tyres. He's struggling now. Unfortunately dropping
and
time.
Lorpy on the penalties. So we've got Batmazo, Lorpy, Calvin, Scottish Ninja and G-Star all on 3. Geke's on 6. Watch the track limits, boys. They're not going to do you any favours.
Certainly not. Single track's got that gap down to 2.4 seconds.
He's a man on a mission now.
Yeah, those gins are kicked in.
Shouldn't it be spinning round?
Yes,
like his head's probably going to be in the morning.
Yes, true.
Carl's up to P4. Kenichiwa's just lost 2 positions.
Yeah, I wonder if he's had a moment somewhere through that Swomax's box. Kenichiwa's followed him in as well. We see now end of lap 5. This is where the tyres start to go off. Gibbon's pitted.
There's a few going in early, but what will work better, the undercut or the overcut? That's the question.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Depends how bad the warm-up is on them mediums. Because this first set... Oh, Carl's had connection issues. He's left the session.
Oh my days, let's hope he can get straight back in.
I hope so, because he's doing really well. He's up to P4 and was actually catching up quite nicely. What's closest battle on track now? I believe it's going to be the Batmazo Bandstop Rotterdam. But yeah, we know with the F1 cars it's tricky to get through that first sector on a fresh set of tyres because they're so cold.
Yeah, exactly.
The F2 cars are heavier, so it might help with the warm-up, but they do understeer more. I think it's going to be even more tricky. Maybe the overcut might work.
Could do, yeah.
Well done, Bandstop. That was a move on to Pat Mazo into the hairpin. Textbook shot up the inside. No contact, so well done to both of them. Who's got the DRS though? Bandstop got the DRS. That's helped him down the straight to keep the gap ahead. Batmazo's got him back.
Yeah, Bandstop went very, very deep though.
Carl's still not back with us by the looks of it. He's just lost out to his teammate.
Yeah, I managed to send him an invite, so hopefully he'll get back in.
Saviour's in the pits. Brave and Kid have carried on.
Martin's also now diving. He's catching up to Gibbon and that Carl thing as well. Carl's now finally joined. Is he going to be able to take control of his car before Gibbon manages to get past him? I don't think he's going to be able to. No, he's not.
You've got to time it just right as well.
Yeah.
But at least he's back in the session with us, so he should be able to get back onto it. Calvin's out.
Retired.
Where's that happened?
That's outside of turn 12. It's like the second sector.
Just at the end of the second sector, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's an unusual one.
Yeah, we're not seeing any virtual safety cars or safety cars though. The leaders are obviously not anywhere close, but surprised we haven't seen anything yet.
I'm really surprised at that as well.
Wow.
Did you forget to put safety car on?
Didn't pay him.
Gibbs on the charge again. What can he do against B17? I think he's going to have the DRS. Scottish Ninja's out. First sector. He's lost it through the S's by the looks of it. And still no safety car.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I told you I forgot to pay him.
You're supposed to pay Bert.
Oh, how he was way off track on the inside of turn, I think that was turn 7, really on the inside, so it's a strange place to kind of go there.
I think Cal's back with us. Gibbs had a bit of a moment. Cal's now up to third, he's just overtaken his teammate. Very brave move into 16, 17, 18.
Now E17 decides to box as do the top 2.
I think it's definitely about time for it. Yeah. I've covered nearly half the race on one set of tyres.
Which is good going, to be fair. Do they have to go mediums now? I'm not sure what it looks like. It looks like there isn't a soft compound. And it just goes from the super soft to mediums.
Yeah, it's a bit of an unusual one. So Cal's currently leading, but he still has to pit. So Kid Dynamite's de facto leader with Comey the Brave right behind him. Save you on them warmer tyres though is going to be pretty dangerous.
Yeah,
especially in these S's.
Yeah. So there's only 3 drivers left to pit. No, there isn't. There's only Carl that's left to pit now. G-Star's just pitted as well, finally made it back. Everyone else has managed to pit now for the medium tyres.
Yeah, the tyre walls are quite a nice colour on the purple one.
I'm just going to get house design ideas now. You're in trouble.
I'm not listening. I know I've got a week off coming up, but I'm still not listening.
You'll have a list.
Weeks to
It'll
try
be
and
interesting to see when Carl decides to pit now, because he'll have about a 20-second gap, 21, 22 seconds to Konnichiwa, which is about your pit stop, so he could come out around about then.
Which would be pretty good to say he's ended up with a session glitch as well and had to leave temporarily, which has cost him time and Saviour's not managed to make enough inroads onto Brave. He's caught him a bit, but not massively. Cal's now pitted, so we'll see where he comes out. Oh, and he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, Carl.
You're a perfectionist, you like to decorate yourself. Crack on then. I am actually pretty good at it, but I just can't be bothered. I've got some wallpaper I'm supposed to put up in this gaming room, I still haven't got round to it.
Well, that's your week off started.
No, wallpapering's not my idea of fun.
I tell you, he's now found his way up the order quite nicely now, and he's now just behind his teammate is Mr. Hills himself.
He certainly has.
To be fair, his teammate up 7, he's up 8, E17 up 9 spots with a penalty. Carl hasn't served his penalty because he gets it obviously on the way in, so that'll be served at the end of the race, so he's going to have to really, really push on. As Konnichiwa's had a moment as well at the end of the S's.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It's that turn 9 again.
It is, yeah, he's catching a couple of people out now.
Keep on board with a single track, because he looks like he's in DRS with his teammate at the moment.
He is.
If the camera actually wants to show me the right car.
Yeah, I've noticed it did that to me a few times as well, actually.
It's not been great with us recently, has it?
It's not been a fun one for us tonight, it's been a bit tricky.
Oh, Codemasters, Codemasters, Codemasters. Why did you let EA buy you out?
Womax is locking up quite a lot, this middle sector.
Yeah, no assists is really not fun in F2 cars. Kid Dynamite fastest lap, Saviour steals it instantly.
Wow.
So that man is definitely on a charge. Well. Is he trying to be our saviour and stop Kid from winning everything?
That might be it. Oh, Womack's just really opened the door at the last corner as well. That's the easiest move Martin's ever going to make in his life.
That wasn't just opening the door, that was the red carpet. Rolled it out for him. Oh, save your 3 second
He's got a penalty.
That's not what he needs. Let's go have a look at Gibb, because he's quite close to the cars in front. We've got Konnichiwa, Carl, Gibb, all in a little bit of a train, all quite close to each other.
Exactly, and Carl's the only one with that penalty.
Further back, we've got Bandstop, Uncle Sam and Rotterdam in a little bit of a train. So there's a few little trains forming, but other than that, it's quite gappy.
Yeah, it's strange how there are, you know, you've got that 17.5 seconds between third and fourth, which, let's be honest, I'm not sure where that's come from. But yeah, you've got then the 4 seconds from Womack's D17 and a big one from Liverpool to Neil, who's kind of on his own, just minding his own business. And yeah, and then like Backme's on his own, and then a few little gaggles like we've got here with Carl and Gabon and Konnichiwa, who's just only a second away from E17, and then further down you've got Uncle Sam and Rotterdam on the back of Bandorf. So and then of course can't forget the top three.
You see, the top three, top 4 or 5 I can kind of expect. They're all pretty fast drivers on the day. The one that I'm so surprised about, Tier 1 driver G-Star is in P18.
Yeah, he was struggling early on. I saw him have 1 or 2 moments and a few little spins. As now single track gets a penalty, he's going to have to push on with a teammate behind him.
Just really shows how much these F2 cars are mixing up the grid.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. You know, Uncle Sam we know is fast, Bandot we know is quick as well. I think they might have had a few little moments early on. Liverpool, obviously, as well, further down there, and this is, I think this is why we're starting to do it, and this is why I like MRC-X, because it gives, like I mentioned in qualifying, these tier 3 and 4 drivers, no disrespect to them, but now can throw a gauntlet down with the top tier 1 guys as they are doing now.
Yeah, I mean, Brave is essentially a tier 2 driver. Him mixing with the tier 1s isn't too surprising, but we've got B17 in P6. He's not massively far from Umax. Konnichiwa's just taken P6 off him. But the P6 and P7 is the tier 3 Ferrari boys. And they've got some really fast drivers behind them, like Erapel.
Yep.
It is mental how much it actually affects them going to a different car. Because it's a slightly different setup, a different way of driving it. And
yeah, because the differentials are... Yeah, the differential, you know, you set the diff up and it's a set sliding scale.
Yeah, it's like 80-20, 70-30, that sort of thing, but it's on one bar. Whereas we're used to having an on-throttle diff and an off-throttle diff.
Exactly, and it shows that, I think it gives a perspective of when you see these drivers. In reality, yes, this is sim racing, it's slightly different, but in respect of drivers going from Formula 2 to Formula 1 in reality, and them suddenly struggling, and there's so different, and you see F2 drivers doing the free practice 1 sessions, and they may be 6 seconds or 5 seconds off anywhere near the pace, and you can see why, because of the way that what they do to make them different, what they do to set the cars up is totally different to what you have in F1.
Yeah, it really is, and I mean, the extra 27 buttons probably doesn't help them either.
No, probably not. No.
And 600 different settings available through the steering wheel.
Yeah.
I mean, you think back to 2020. George Russell had been quite happy in the Williams and knew his car inside and out. Hamilton got COVID, didn't he? So Russell got called up to the Mercedes. And he was on the radio every few minutes going, how do I do this? How do I do that? What's brake magic?
Yeah.
It just shows the difference between a top team and a bottom team.
Oh, Carl's got another penalty. It said he gained a place, though. I'm not sure how.
I wonder
Still
if
in the
that's
same position.
What's class? Oh, yeah, that's a weird one. We might end up having to look at that in stewarding.
Potentially, yeah, because that is a very, very strange one, that one. But there's still the top, call me the Brave. I mean, Dynamite's kind of checked out a little bit up the top, and now Saviour under the rear wing of the Brave.
But yeah, you were saying about the difference between F2 and F1, but then you get the difference between like Williams and Mercedes in F1 itself. It's staggering, the difference. So F2 to F1 must be worlds apart.
Yeah, and if you look at the steering wheels in F1, I mean, I quite like the Mercedes one. It's quite clean, and the information that they have on the display when it's a night race, or like if you could see from qualifying tonight with it being dark, you get to see the screen, and it looks quite nice and it's quite clear. And then the showing on board of the Ferrari. What on earth is how they can even understand any of that? That screen, that small screen, is so busy and full of information and digits and numbers. It's like, yeah, that would just completely boggle me.
Yeah, it is just, wow, what is going on with it? I don't understand it either, and it's like, I mean, I've got that Ferrari wheel myself, and some of the screens on that are so busy and hard to understand. I don't know how the drivers cope with it. Just give them something a bit more basic and have it on the turn wheel or something if they need extra information.
Yeah.
Don't shove it all in front of them when they're going 200 mile an hour down the straight, trying to read this tiny, tiny little detail.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, speaking of that, how do the Williams boys cope?
Well, we say this every week in, week out, and
Tiny little screen half a mile away from the head.
Yeah, and half the time the hand's in front of it.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Williams, pull your finger out. Just put the screen in the steering wheel.
Like everybody else.
I know it's cheaper to have it in the chassis because you get one screen and you can endless amount of steering wheels, but come on, you don't change them that often anyway.
Well, just looking at some of these gaps, that's still that battle for behind Uncle Sam and Neil now. That's quite a good one further down. Martin seems to have checked out and be on his own away from Womack, so that penalty he's pulled away from. Saviour still all over the back of Comet Brave. Nothing really, I'd say it's kind of stuck there. You've got to about 2/10 at one point. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Don't know, that might be 4.
No, I'm not overly sure either.
I think someone might have gone wide. Loppy, I think it might have been Loppy. He's had a moment somewhere and gone round. There's a little bit of damage to his front wing as well. Carl pitted. I don't know if it's to get rid of. Got rid of one of those penalties. Geke's got 15 seconds. Unfortunately for him, not had a day to remember.
Carl's back on the purple tyres.
Yeah.
Which is obviously going to help him in catching the Geke and possibly G-Star, but I don't think he's going to make much more ground than that. We've only got 2 laps left.
Pressed to potentially catch G-Star up ahead. Good move to turn 1 though.
8 seconds in a couple of laps is possible. It depends how much G-Star's struggling.
Yeah.
How much extra pace Carl can find out of them tyres. I mean, it's taken half a second since the start-finish line.
Very true.
So it is possible.
And I think that's that Rotterdam ahead of us. I'm just on board with G-Star. I think it is. Who's had a big moment somewhere in those S's and really struggling. So that either going to help G-Star pull away a little bit. Yeah, Carl's gained about a second.
Carl's absolutely flying at the moment.
Yeah, he is.
And he's going to be hoping that G-Star gets held up by Rotterdam.
Which he's just got straight through on the DRS, but Rotterdam's not giving it up. He's back on the inside. Is he going to leave enough room? G-Star does. Rotterdam's still going to fight it, On the outside, he's going to try and hold to a Saviour and a Brave.
No, I don't think he's brave enough.
Is he going to have a look at the inside?
I thought he was looking again then. I thought he were going to go for it then.
Oof, so did I.
In his Williams-inspired Carlin.
Very respectful.
That's what we like.
Certainly is.
I think Carl's definitely going to catch Rotterdam though. It depends how much headway G-Star can make.
Well, it was about 8 seconds, wasn't it? It's now 4.5.
Let's have a look at the
He's
penalties.
now got a 3-second penalty though.
Which puts him up to 8. Whereas G-Star's only got 3.
Yeah.
Rotterdam's got 6. So
It's
going through the
doable
penalty,
for Rotterdam, I would think.
we've got Saviour on 3, single track on 3.
Rotterdam's got a... Sorry, Rotterdam got an absolute fantastic run out of turn 1. Oh, went a little bit wide through 3 though.
Yeah, he's a bit iffy in the first sector, but he's making it work.
Yeah, that was a really good move though. Really good switchback, really got the drive as well.
So Knitcher 3, E17 6, Gibbon 3, Erapel 6, Uncle Sam 3, Batmazo 9, Rotterdam 6, G-Star 3, Carl 8, Geke 21, and Lorpy 13.
Yeah, he's got 10 seconds of a track limit warning, so he must have gone that far over track or kind of cut a corner a little bit to get something like that.
But it is, as we kind of missed in the last lap, for the leaders anyway. They're just going through sector 1 at the moment, and Saviour's still not got past Brave. Brave's really holding on here.
Yeah, Dermot's just lapped Lorpy, fortunately.
Now that's not something you see very often, Lorpy getting lapped.
No, it's really not.
But that's F2 for you.
Totally different learning curve. Carl's only 2 seconds now off the back of G-Star.
He's got to get past him and make some headway on the penalties though.
Yeah, he is.
He might catch him. Speaking of catching, Knitcher was all over Womax at the moment. He's got so much more grip in that first sector.
Oh, Saviour and Brave were side by side, and Saviour got pushed a little bit wide. Edge of 12.
Knitcher was making his move into the hairpin. He should get the DRS depending on where the detection line is. If not, it may have just gone a bit early. But no, like you say, he got it. Saviour's really catching Brave in this final sector.
Yep, Brave seems to have run out of time. Oh! Wow!
So we missed him crossing the line.
I think Brave has actually run out of tyres. I think that's what it is, but that's how it's going to finish. Wow, that was close at the end.
So Kids won it with Coleman the Brave in second, Saviour in third. Single track's just coming round turn 19 now. He's going to take P4. A little bit wide. I think they're all starting to run out of tyres now.
It seems that way, yeah.
Maybe Carl's idea of pitting wasn't such a mad one after all. The single track takes P4. Knitcher was going to come home in P5. But I think he's going to lose it to Womax on penalties. He is. So Womax 5th. Knitcher 6th. E17 7th. Gibbon a very respectable 8th. He's ahead of Erapel, who's in 9th. It was just lost out to Neil. So Neil takes 9th. Erapel 10th. Uncle Sam's coming around the final corner. He's going to be another one that loses out on penalties, unfortunately. So Banstorp 11th, Uncle Sam 12th, Batmazo 13th. I'm just waiting on Carl now.
Yeah, made a really good pass on G-Star. It was a good little battle. Yeah, it was a good little battle. I was watching that. It was a good little pass, but we'll lose out again via the penalties.
So G-Star gets 14th, Carl 15th. Rotterdam comes home 16th, Geke will be 17th, and obviously Lopez was lapped, so he's already finished in 18th. So who would your driver of the day be? We'll cover that off now.
I'm going to have to give it to Martin. A difficult quali, and then to come up and just keep his nose clean, had a few little battles, and then finish in 4th was pretty good drive, to be fair, so I'm going to have to go with Martin.
Yeah, that's a very fair driver of the day, is that, and he's been given it by the game as well.
Yeah.
It was a very impressive drive, especially as he's had barely any practice at all. He didn't really have a chance to adjust his setup. I mean, he was taking advice off me before the... That's saying something. I know I've got a championship to my name, but he's had tier 2 championships. He's supposed to be the better of the two.
But no, that was it was one that was a bit quiet, I would have to say, in terms of a race, but it was still a good race, some good battling, I thought, with that, and drivers learning these cars and not used to it. I thought it was very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, that Kid Dynamite Saviour battle for nearly a lap side by side. Absolutely mental, that.
Yeah, that was incredible. That is how you do it.
And Kid Dynamite
absolutely how you do it.
Did get the fastest lap, although I'll just remind you now, you don't get fastest lap points in MRC-X. Because he did message me about that last week.
No, you don't, do you?
Jump down bottom, and then we've got all the timings. But there we go, that's your X rating for another week, all done. Next week is Brazil, and I believe it's 100%er.
I think you're right, actually. Yes, I think it was.
So we're back to the F1 cars, probably own liveries again.
Yes.
So back to the normality, but it's 100% of Interlagos. Not sure who will be on comms, whether Connor will be back or not, but I'm sure we'll find out. But anyway, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, if you click the notifications, you get notified when we go live. We're back again on Monday at 7 o'clock for Tier 2, which myself and Mark will be racing in. So thank you, Mark, for joining me as well.
Yeah, thank you. It was it was a good race. Like I said, a lot of learning curve for a lot of drivers there, and some taking it a bit steady and adapting, and I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was actually really interesting kind of race, that just to see them, how they were handling the cars. Like we say, it was understeer, and you could see that later on, and strategies are a lot different. So no, it was good fun. I enjoyed that race. It was not necessarily the big wheel-to-wheel hairy battles that we see usually, and that was more thought of, that one. I think that was really good. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was definitely good, and a little bit different as well, us two swapping seats for the night.
It was a bit, yeah. It's a lot more calmer with you in the lead. I know that much.
There was a lot less to get overly excited about on that one. I mean, that Tier 3 race the other day, I couldn't have even kept up with it.
No, exactly that, and yeah, it was, everyone was very well behaved as well. It was nice to see.
Yeah, hopefully stewarding will be really quiet tonight. But there we go, that's us done for another week. Back Monday for your MRC action. So from all of us here, good night.
Good night.